of CT Power Yoga. We're in the New Canaan studio.
Yes,
this is so fun. I love CT Power Yoga. It has become a very important part of my healing, and Aimee has become a really dear friend to me, and we have similar and different stories all in the same time, and she's been inspirational in my journey, even though at first you didn't really understand my methods, and we'll get into that. But I'm just so excited because this studio is brand new.
Brand new. December 15th we opened.
And so it's not even a month, and we just want people to come and join the community, and we're so excited, and truthfully, honestly, I just feel like I belong here. I really do, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Open those talking points so I can see. I wrote talking points, obviously, so we can stay on track. Okay, so what I wanted to know, and what I think is really important, is for Aimee to share her story and kind of how CT Power Yoga kind of came to be and how her journey started on wellness. Go.
Great. Okay. So I met Tim, my husband, in the city. I guess it's like 16 years ago now. And everything happened very quickly because I was older than him.
Oh,
and I wanted to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm 7 years older than
Oh.
Tim. Yep. So we got married and we had one baby, and then we had another baby, and then we decided to move to Stanford because I'm from Long Island and Tim is from New Jersey. And neither one of us wanted to go to the opposite place, and Tim was still commuting into the city. So we picked Stanford, and at first my mom was like, "Why are you living in Stanford?" And I was like, "I don't really know, it just is a beautiful place and we could afford it." And then about a year later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
So a year after you moved to Stanford, you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
A year after, we bought a house and 2 cars and had 2 babies and just moved.
Wow.
And I had just gone back to work, and I'm an occupational therapist and I was working with children. I had to, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I found my own lump. I was actually training for a triathlon, and the Friday before it, I was like, "Oh, I feel something," and Tim was like, and I was like, "Let me just get through the weekend, and then I called Dr. Gofrani. She was my OB.
Shiva Gofrani,
Gofrani.
shout out.
And she got me in right away, and it was like within a week I knew that I had breast cancer, and with the week after that I had a bilateral mastectomy. For me, it wasn't a choice. That's what I chose to do. It wasn't an option. One side.
So the doctors recommended. Well, the doctors recommended, or you kind of were like, you know what? Let's just remove.
Before I even went in, I was like, I don't want cancer in my body, and if I have to have this, then I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do a bilateral because had a family history of it.
Yeah, you have it.
So
in
my
genetics,
aunt and my
me
grandmother. Yeah, well, I'm not genetically. I'm
You
not
weren't
genetic.
positive?
No,
Okay.
but my aunt and my grandmother both had breast cancer.
Okay.
So I went in and I met Dr. Manassa. She was the breast surgeon originally at Stanford Hospital.
Stanford Hospital.
Amazing.
And I'm going to get into with Aimee. When I was deciding about surgery, I came to Aimee and talked to her a lot about it, and she actually showed me what it looked like, just so that I could have peace of mind too if I decided to go a different route than just the lumpectomy.
Yeah. So I had it on the right side, and that wasn't really an option for me because it had started to spread outside of my ducts. So that side had to be at the time, a mastectomy was the recommendation, and I decided to do both. And at the time, nipple sparing wasn't really spoken of, so I had a total bilateral mastectomy, and then I went for reconstruction with Dr. Passaretti, who was amazing. And so I was in this 8-hour surgery. They did the mastectomy and the reconstruction started at the same time.
And you did treatment too?
Then I did 4 months of chemotherapy and 30 days of radiation.
Wild. Which is basically what was recommended for me also. Double mastectomy, few little extra chemo, and then potentially radiation.
So my cancer was estrogen positive.
And mine's negative.
Right.
So different types of cancer.
Types of cancer.
And hers had spread, mine hadn't spread.
Right. So I didn't have any lymph node involvement, and my oncologist, Dr. Lowe, I was 38 years old, and at the time...
And I am 37.
Yeah, he was like, let's just do this. And I was like, let's just do this. And literally start to finish, like surgery to surgery, was just under a year.
Yeah.
So I had my first surgery in July, and I had my last surgery in May of the following year.
But you were always into wellness, and like, were you basically pretty healthy before diagnosed? Like, did you have high stress? Like, your body had been under stress because you had 2 babies, you were moving from New York to Stanford. Do you think some of that played a role on top of the genetics? Like, what were you eating?
Yeah, my diet was always pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, my mom was like when we were younger, like whole wheat was like way better than white bread. So I was always a whole wheat person. Like, she used to make me chopped liver sandwiches, and
that's delicious.
and you know, like, we always ate very healthy. Like, I never ate sugary cereals. They were not in my house. There was no soda in my house. So growing up, I always ate healthy. I occasionally had, you know, like my ice cream and all that. But when I was done with all my stuff, oh, and just a side note, growing up, I always had really bad eczema.
Oh, interesting. I did too as
And
a
then
child.
when I had chemo, my skin looked beautiful. The eczema went away.
Hey.
Everything was beautiful. Perks. Free with cancer.
Okay, take it easy.
And then so when I was done, I started to read a little bit about diet and all that. So I started following Chris Carr.
Yeah.
And I did the plant-based thing, and my eczema never came back again.
Wow.
Yes.
And do you think that was, well,
I think it was the
chemo
I think it was
changed
actually
your
chicken
skin.
that I was allergic to, or there was something in chicken, because when I did the plant-based, I took out things. I tried to do cold turkey everything, and it was an epic fail. So I went back and I started to take out like red meat, and then I took out, and I still had the eczema. Then I took out dairy,
Yeah.
Still had the eczema. I took out chicken. Oh, I took out fish. Still had the eczema, and then I took out chicken, and the eczema went away. So
that might be
and then I started eating eggs a little while ago, and the eczema came back.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And then how did the yoga kind of come into play, like the studio, like after all of this?
So my best friend had started doing yoga, and I was like, what are you drinking? Because she just seemed a little bit different. So I had done the 200-hour in the area, and it was great, but I still felt like there was something missing. So she kept talking about this level one. I'm like, all right, I don't know what it is, but I really want to go. And Tim was like, well, let's go on a vacation. And then he's like, well, let's just go to level 1. So Baptiste Power Yoga level 1.
So they did it together.
We did it together.
Which is amazing.
It was in Sedona, Arizona, with Bear and Baptiste, and it was like bigger than I could have imagined. We just walked away with so much more information about who we were and what made us tick, and then kind of shifted our relationship, because then we couldn't really, like, whenever we would like get out of integrity, like the other person would call the other person out, and then we just loved it. We came back to Stanford and there wasn't any.
And the fundamentals of Baptiste, share with everyone.
Yeah,
so
so
everyone
Baptiste
knows.
Power Yoga is about pretty much disrupting your drift. So like the everyday, like the rat race, and the way that you speak to yourself, and like being like really about the I, like I want this and I want that and I want to do this and I want to do that, and really stopping that and really looking at like out here, like what's out in our space, and being out here rather than in here just creates so much more ease and peace. And so we just continued our journey in the trainings, and we kept going to the trainings and coming back, and there was none here. And then after like the 3rd time, we're like, let's just do it. And we opened a studio.
Yeah, and it took me a while to get to the studio, and I didn't.
Yeah, and we met through cancer.
We did meet through cancer, because I had a client who did workout through cancer, and it all ended up coming full circle. And then I was diagnosed, and then I was like, it's time for me to go to Aimee. And I remember when I first told Aimee my methods and the way that I was going to do things, and that I was going to take a whole holistic route, you did think I was a little crazy.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever said you were crazy.
No.
No, I didn't think you were crazy. It was, my whole thing was, and ever since, so I've been done for 10 years with my everything, like cancer free and all that. So my thing was, when anybody ever asked me about like my experience, I would share my experience and I wouldn't share my opinion.
Right.
And even though in my head I had my own opinion, I would never say that to you because I do think it's a personal choice.
Totally.
And even though my choice was completely opposite of your choice, it was still a choice.
And that's why I thought it was so important for us to talk and share that, because you and I have become so close this last year, no matter the differences, because it's not what's right or wrong, it's what's best for us each as an individual. And I think that's the most important thing to spread, because in my heart was telling me something different than your heart was telling you. But ultimately, right now, we're in the same place where I'm in this community with you. We're both physically active, we both care about our health, and we both live a little better because of what happened and what happened 100%. For us.
Yeah, and the only difference is that when I'm really old, my chin is actually going to rest on my fake boobs and yours isn't.
Mine will hang low like they're supposed to. I hope so. It's amazing. Okay, TMI. So also I wanted to give Stanford Health a shout out, because when I was talking about doing surgery, you know, it took me a long time to get there, and we had talked about it a lot. And when I finally got to the point where we were going to get it removed, I came to you and I was like, show me what was happening with you. And you know, you said Stanford Health was kind of the best route to go, and that was recommended to me by my oncologist, and it was awesome. And I ended up going to Stanford Health and doing the whole doctor pass surgery, and they did such a phenomenal job, and they're still very communicative and like just making sure everything's okay and checking in, and they know who I am, and it feels kind of like that's kind of a community all in itself. Yes. Is that true?
Yeah, and I just love that when I was having my treatments and everything, you know, and I say this like as a joke, but it's true, like Free with Cancer, but you get, like they do the medical aspect of everything, but Stanford Bennett Cancer Center is all about the holistic too. So like I had reflexology and Reiki and massage all during my treatments. Yeah, meditations, and then I really got into yoga too through that. They have a free class, and it was with Rita Trieger, and she was just so amazing, and it really helped me to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. So on that note, we just wanted to share kind of what CT Power Yoga is and how important it's been on my journey and our relationship together and our different stories. And from there, we hope we could inspire you a little bit. And if you want to know anything else about CT Power Yoga, where can people find you?
At www.ctpoweryoga.com, Stanford, 1372 Summer Street, and New Canaan, 12 Burtis Avenue.
And if you want a class, contact us, because people can try a class.
Yep, we offer a 2-week unlimited for $40. And if you email me, I may be able to secretly get you a pass to be my guest.
Woo! Okay, awesome. Sending you lots of healthy vibes for this new year. 2020 is our year, Aim.
Peace out.
Bye.